I'm the kind of person who does things that nobody understands. And because nobody understands what I'm actually doing or why I'm doing what I'm doing, they're kind of wondering what's up with her, what's wrong with her, and what's really going on inside her. So now that I have this opportunity to speak on the camera, then maybe this is the time that I can explain myself. Um, like, I don't know if this is just me or you've probably observed it, but most of the people that I've seen, most of the people around me are so into social media, and it's kind of hard to squeeze myself with their attention. Like, I'm the kind of person who does things differently and thinks differently, and because of being so different, it makes me feel alone and lonely sometimes. Before, it was really lonely because as a child, as a kid, I was the type of kid who was always in the playground, who's always alone in the field, and bullied, and and yeah, I have a lot of struggles and a lot of, like, people call it, like, this socially anxious person. And because I'm socially anxious person, it's normal for me to retreat into my shell. Excuse me. It's easy for me to retreat back to my cave. Excuse me again. Because it's safe for me. And then at that time, it wasn't really like I can openly talk about it because I don't have the camera. I don't have friends, and I don't have somebody that can understand me in, like, at least some person who can listen to me. So because of that, I tend to shut off, I tend to close off, I tend to isolate myself socially. And I know that some of the people who knew me may have probably noticed that over the years. Just imagine, I have a few friends, long time friends, who have been my high school classmates and all, and I've not seen them in the last 10 years. That's how hermetic I am. And because I am so hermetic, it's hard for me to find social connections. So the only, like, you could say, active social connection is social media, LinkedIn and all that, like, so like FB. And even FB, I don't have a lot of friends. I don't have a lot of followers on social media, and I don't have a lot of subscribers and all that. So I'm the kind of person who really just do whatever I like, even if no one understands, even if no one can really apprehend what's going on inside my mind. So if I tell someone what's going on in my mind, it's a lot of things. There are a lot of things going on inside my mind. And just to say a few, for example, just processing about how I feel about this day, how I feel about today, how I think about my actions or other people's actions. Because, like, to explain this properly, give me a sec. So I have here a blackboard, whiteboard, you call it whiteboard. So to explain myself why I'm doing what I'm doing, so allow me to, Venn diagram. Venn diagram has two circles, right? Oh my gosh, it's so bad. Wait. So let's say you have two circles. Okay, it looks like a boob. Yeah, right. So you have Venn diagram. Okay. So that one circle, first circle, second circle. So first circle, you have self. Okay, you have self, and then you have others. Okay, so excuse me. Okay, so if you could just imagine self and you have the others. Okay, because I have a because I was able to access my inner self, you could say. I was able through shadow work. It just became like it's just intensified. It was just intensified after years of shadow work. But over the years, over the course of my life, I was able to survive most of the horrifying moments that happened in my life simply because I have a strong inner world, the self. And at that time, I was unconscious because I was just a child. While everything was going on, I was just a kid. I was just like a teenager who didn't know, who didn't have anyone to talk to or who could somehow explain what's going on, who could try to explain or give me some third party opinion of my situation at that time, because at that time it was just me, myself, and I. So even at the time when I was bullied and all that, there was nobody who was there to really, you could say, like support me emotionally. And because of that, I'm thankful now, as you know, like I'm adult now. Right now I'm able to say thank you rather. I'm able to thank my inner child, my younger self, my young self for for being able to keep the self, to keep the self intact despite everything. And it was just like in a moment where in my 20s I experienced the dark night of the soul, wherein I reached the point where I just planned to do it. Okay, because at that time I wasn't able to realize that by doing too much of others. Okay, so by doing too much of others, I wasn't able to find my center. Your center. Okay, I wasn't able. So I wasn't able to find my center. And because I wasn't able to find my center, it was easy for me to choose, okay, this is it. Life has no purpose for me, life has no meaning for me. It's time for me to go. And I was really prepared. I was on the way to einkaufen, so I was about to go grocery and all that. I was okay. I have my shopping cart, and it was like, okay, I will bring some shopping carts. It will not be so obvious and all, so I will do that. And somehow, when I was about to jump, a force pulled me back, and I was pushed, and I was until now just recalling it, that moment. And every time until now, every time the train stops by, especially that type in Terregio, it was like a reminder for me of what I could have lost if I did it. I could have lost this chance to talk to you right now if I did it. I would have lost the chance to take my power back and to speak, allow my soul to speak with you if it did that. So now going back to doing things that I just, doing things that I like to do, even at the cost of misunderstanding, at the cost of disharmony among others. It's because this is like I try in the first phase of my life, it was like this is my surviving mechanism. This survived me. This helped me survive all the chaos that's going on around me. My inner child was so strong that my adult mind, okay, my adult mind is ruined, wrecked. Like I was high, I was unhealthy, but my inner child helped me save myself and somehow found myself again. And now I'm talking to you, and without even knowing if you could watch this or what, I would just like to talk to you and share a bit of my life here and there. But yeah, so in the previous videos I talk about ego, and this is part of trying to study ego and what did my ego try to save me from. So now I'm trying to study, like I'm trying to examine why I wanted to jump that day, what my ego was trying to save me from. Because at that time I was like, everything was just falling apart. I didn't have a job. I lost all my clients. I didn't have any choice. I was trapped. I was, like I was trapped. I felt trapped in a system that I couldn't do anything with my powers. And because of this hopelessness and the sheer darkness that's going on around me, it was like I really don't have the power to get through the day anymore. And it was like how should I say, like I feel shameful. I feel so much shameful. I feel so much shame and disgust and fear with myself. And like if I try to differentiate the three, I feel shameful because like I could have taken the easy route. I could have chosen others easily, but somehow it was like the self trying to sneak in and then saying no, 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 you should do this, at the cost of, let's say, like losing a job sometimes. But at that time it was like, I shouldn't have done it, and blaming my Wattpad, blaming my Wattpad life for not doing my job properly, you know, blaming my inner child for sneaking in some hours to write fiction when I should be doing this. And because I wasn't able to find my center, really, that's why I ended up like just in a pure blob. If you could just imagine a blob, you're a thick blob and you can't do anything with it because it's just so thick. And if you're depressed and if you're someone who's in it right now, it's really hard to get a way out of it, unless if you take the time to finally acknowledge that you are depressed and that you need a deep rest, right? And I had a deep rest. I had a deep rest to the point that now I'm talking to you, sitting in front of the camera, talking about anything that I've learned in the last couple of years, and reflecting, taking back all the memories that I can collect in my precious brain, all the way back to my childhood, just to make sense of what I'm going through right now and what's actually going on. Like, yeah. So that's why I'm thankful that until now you're still here listening to me, and I hope that I make sense with whatever I'm saying right now. So I think, yeah, that's how answer the question why I do things differently, why I do choose things that are usually what most people think weird or unusual choice, or why I choose things this way, because my why is so big and it's so meaningful to me in a way that it saved my life several times. So why let go of it? Why should I let go of it when it's the very thing that saved me? Yeah, I know finding a job and do things in my real time help me keep my feet on the ground, help me keep myself stable and safe and harmonious and whatsoever. But in the end, I'll be asking myself the moment I close my eyes, before I sleep, I will be haunted with the question, what have I done today that will make me happy or that have made me happy? What did I feel now that I'm about to sleep? Will I have dreams or nightmares? Right? Will I have dreams or nightmares? It's up to you to answer, and it's really up to you how you can figure out the answers from there. So I like to end this video with that question, and I like you to ponder about that question. And yeah, maybe it's the very thing that you need today, just to ponder things that you have not pondered in your life because you're too busy, you're too distracted from everything. And now you're here listening to me and learning about self and others. And I hope that's clear, and see you in the next one. Cheers!